As we leave Belgium entering Germany, we will note the regular schedules are available in Belgium for most of the international connections, and we do note the 2014 map does not contain the supplement fares, perhaps because of the new higher ones in France. And lastly, we will note we had problems again in either Gare de Midi or the Central Station regarding whether or not one could buy a ticket, which go to competence or incompetence there too. Also note, no longer a need for train numbers. So I'm going from Munich to Bologna, which I've done before, and it's still the only EC Euro city that doesn't have a Italian reservation, but now it has a Auspreis, a special charge. And then I'm going to go back to France. Boy, that's an expensive fare no matter how you go. And I'm trying to do it from Switzerland. The witch in Brussels said it wasn't possible. Then she said it was 34. Then she said the computer was down. Of course, we remember how we got the tickets from the other person in Brussels. And then I'm going through Basel, and they aren't available. The German computer says it's, well, they don't even have a price for a pass. They don't have the Lyria quotation. I'm going, what the heck? And then I got a bright idea, like I did before, going through Strasbourg and or through Lille. You avoid that international charge by just going across to the city on the other side of the border. In this case, Basel to Toulouse. In Germany, the regular rail is distinguished from the S-Bahn, which is distinguished from the Straßenbahn, that's the streetcar. And of course, the ticket is valid on the S-Bahn, and often they'll accept it on the U-Bahn. The reason I bring this up, though, is the newspaper admin noted that there's an increased checking of tickets on the S-Bahn, and I've been checked in every major city in Germany. So I'm here in Cologne, where I finally got all my various tickets. I had to get, well, this Belgian ticket, but then there's the German ticket, and then there's the French ticket. Reasons for that, among other things, you want to get the Spanish tickets outside of Spain. You save the Gasto service charge made only in Spain. Then I came over here, what was formerly the TGV office is now called the Thales office, and I was able to get the French ticket, which is only available in France for the connection for international service between the south of France and Barcelona, the new high-speed train. You can get the French tickets, you can get the Spanish tickets, but you can't get the international tickets. And by the way, it's a couple of euros extra. It's worth it. In most of these other cases, I saved substantially a lot of money, especially on the connection, if you will, between Basel and Toulouse, saving me over 15 euros, better connection, and also allowed me the possibility to take the old Eurocity train. Here's a notice in Holland for Dutch trains, which are now requiring many times a scanning of the barcode, not unlike a subway train. Of course, with pass holders, you'll probably have to go to the office anyhow. This is Brussels Central, which ironically is not the central station, but is the South Sud or Midi station. And many convenient connections are made to the reservation-free German ICE trains going to Frankfurt Cologne at the North Station, North, with the peculiar exception of the international intercity train from Amsterdam, which actually originates from Den Haag, or better, is Rotterdam. I'm riding along the Rhine here in an inner-city German train, not unlike city Eurocity trains, which sometimes run to Austria or, say, Switzerland, and they've renovated the seats, which are kind of nice. So look at this handy booklet going from Munich to Italy, 2 trains regularly to Venice, Venedig, and to Bologna, plus an extra on occasion. And while not listing a required supplement reservation fee with rail pass, unique for an Italian train, it now has an Aufpreis, a mandatory extra supplement for the Italian portion. This time the train is leaving some 50 minutes earlier because it has a construction for a bus segment between Rosenheim and Kufstein, and half that hour is for the 15-minute changeover between to and from the bus, and the remaining extra 20 minutes is because the bus runs about twice as slow. But you know, it should be pretty, and besides, it still gives a good connection. Latest update here in Germany is you no longer have the Städteverbindungen, which now cost €2, but you can get these handy printouts from these handy machines. Only major cities, though. Because of today's track work on the train to Bologna and the intermediate bus with the suspension of regular service, one would have thought that it had been leaving with the special German train. But a reading of the fine print, good thing I can read my German, it's actually been moved to that track over there. Well, in this 2-week journey, I've made 9 reservations, and noted the update that the domestic travel on the TGV in France is now €9. So we're going to save that by taking the regional 200-kilometer service, the Interloire, allowing a nice stop in Tours, and avoiding that horrible tunnel compression in Montpellier, as well as the lousy connection with the 2 necessary metro stops. And then we're going to save another €25 by not booking from Basel to Paris, but instead just skipping over the border to Toulouse. And then we're going to save, as regularly so in Spanish trains, some extra €17 because we go second class there, because the seats are the same size, and the only thing you gain is a horrible little meal in first class. That totals over €50. That's almost 80 American dollars. Now, I think that's pretty good. Also on the right, notice the ever helpful service and pamphlet from the very helpful man at the Eurail office in Munich. One of the nice things about the Eurocity service from Austria, Germany to Italy is the very good Austrian old-timey meal service. Here's a notice in the Austrian Rail book about a new, faster blue railjet service. That's the Austrian fast trains. Almost 40 minutes faster new service between Prague and Vienna. Well, I use the automatic ticket machine, and as before, it still offers the Global Pass automatic reservation. Turns out it's at the end of the sequence and requires an entry of the passcode. After asking, I found out it's this number, not that number. But do be advised it only accepts the first 7 of the 8 digits. While not forgetting to stamp your ticket in Italy, be advised that here in Bologna they have new tracks for the high-speed train in the upper teens, a long distance walk away. This is the Swiss high-speed version of the Cis Alpino, allowing pendular activity through the mountains at higher speeds, gaining us time for the TGV, which, contrary to its name, does not travel at high speeds on the southern portion of the connections to Italy from France. Moreover, the timings are just horrible, and given now that the fare structure, according to the Eurail guide in Munich, one of my favorites, is literally a highway robbery. We'll be saving €25 by changing in Toulouse instead of Basel. We'll be taking the Cis Alpino through the relatively new Lordsburg Tunnel and changing in Basel, making the change actually in Toulouse to save 25 extra euro surcharge fare, and we'll be avoiding the TGV route, which in this area is still slow speed. Well, I'm on a high-speed train at the Italian-Swiss border of Domodossola, and much to my surprise and everybody else's, it's a mandatory change of bus. Well, with contingent itinerary planning, as is my habit, it finds a place that's useful today wherein our lateness with the transfer to a bus or track work finds us arriving at Basel, such that we'll be taking the old Eurocity, which used to run to Italy, Brussels, the one that made Sophia Loren famous, but they dropped the service so much they had to drop the Eurocity from the name. Still afford us a 10-minute change. The The route we're taking today is avoiding the TGV from Italy to Paris, which arrives way too late, is way too slow in this stretch. They hadn't even started the high-speed route in this portion, and it's way too expensive with the recent reservation increases. What we're taking advantage of is a high-speed route that opened about a year ago in this portion, as well as a high-speed tunnel that opened in this portion about a year ago. And also we're avoiding the high-cost reservation charges by just skipping across the border to Toulouse from Basel. Here in Gare de Lyon, for service to the southeast, there are 3 offices to private Tello trains to Italy. Boy, they started high supplement fares with a pass, 60-second, over 100 euros first. And then you have the Ile-de-France local service and then international service farther on down. Well, I found out using this ticket for the Global Pass that the new international fares to Spain are distant dependent, so I don't want to make it a farther one. As we pull into Barcelona on the TGV from France, noting that it's really a Renfe-Ave service, and as such has, interestingly, no stop in Narbonne. Here in Vigo in northwest Spain, there is new fastest reservation obligatory service to Porto in Portugal. One late in the day, one earlier in the day, and now takes a €4 supplement charge. Here at Orense, we're waiting for the second half of our train that's arriving from Santiago de Compostela. And yes, this indeed tragically is the same train that had that terrible accident. Well, smoking requirements have relented just a tad in Spain, France, and Italy, and Germany. They actually have set-aside areas. Don't you dare try it in